What is business strategy? And why should you care as a data scientist? Fair question. Why do you care? You've got enough on your plate, right? Well, let me explain something to you. Very little secret about strategy is that you as a data scientist are the apex predator of the strategy world. May not feel like it. Everyone will tell you, yeah, you got to be a strategist in order to have a long career, or if you go into strategy, you're going to make a ton of money. What's really important for you to understand about strategy is how much of what you already do is strategy. So I'm going to define strategy and I'm going to explain how you as a data scientist are one of the most powerful strategic practitioners. And that's because if you look at all the other strategy consultants, they're very hand wavy and spreadsheety and tables and graphs and PowerPoint presentations. You're a data scientist. They produce theses out of air. You can create a thesis and support it with evidence. You can create strategy that is backed up by the models you build. That's what makes you the apex predator. That's why every other strategy consultant is legitimately terrified of you learning strategy, because you're not one of those hand wavers. You can model complex business systems and use that understanding to create dominant strategy. So, what is strategy? What is it? Strategy is the study of leverage and advantage in competitive zero-sum games. You're thinking to yourself, okay, I Googled that and that's not what they said. But remember, we think about this differently because we're data scientists. We think about this from a systems perspective. So what is the system that we're measuring? Well, it's the marketplace. And in the marketplace, you have competitive forces. So when you're competing against other companies for zero sum, limited resources, there is a limited rewards pool. And you're competing with other companies, with other businesses for that limited reward pool. Obviously, you want an advantage. You want to be competing where the game's rigged and it's your advantage and you are more likely to succeed than the people that you're competing with. And those are the arenas that you want to compete within, because you have an advantage. And it's the understanding of that complex system of the marketplace, of the competitors, of the forces that shape and drive the marketplace. Those are your levers, those models that you create of business systems where you connect your business metrics, those KPIs that the business measures success based on, and your model metrics. Those models model something, the complex business system. So those model metrics map back to your business metrics, to your KPIs, and your understanding as a data scientist of those complex business systems becomes your leverage to create competitive advantage within the business that can create the dominant strategies that allow the business to maximize their profitability, maximize that share, the zero-sum game, the share of that very limited pool of rewards. That's why you're the apex predator of strategy, because you can actually do it. You are that rare intersection of evidentiary, experimentally driven thesis and execution, because you're going to present a thesis that's supported, and you're going to, with the understanding of the system that you've built, explain to the business exactly how they're going to use leverage to gain competitive advantage, to win and to optimize their share of those limited rewards. That's why you should learn strategy, because the level that you can build strategy at is far superior to anyone else out there, because you have the tools and the knowledge to do what everyone else just talks about in the strategy world. And yes, you're going to have a much, much longer career in the field and once you get out of the field, because strategy is a gap skill. It is a skill businesses know they need. They ask for help from AI strategy consultants, but more and more, they're asking their data scientists to go out, identify opportunities, talk to stakeholders, and understand the business in a deeper and more complex way. Because You understanding data science, the rest of the business doesn't really understand it yet. So they don't know how to translate their business needs to you. They don't even know what business needs they should be telling you that they have in order for you to create the most valuable products and the most valuable machine learning services for them. They don't understand that. And so they're looking at you to be a strategist, because without that component, machine learning just goes into production. Sometimes it returns what it's supposed to, sometimes it doesn't. So it's being increasingly demanded from data scientists to have this business acumen and this strategy, the ability to understand business strategy and business models. That's a gap skill because so few data scientists have it. Most are tacticians. And if you ask your CTO or any of your senior executives on the technical side, what is the one capability they wish they had more of? It's almost always strategy, because they want to seat at that strategy planning table. It's where your high-end activities happen. And most CTOs or chief data scientists, chief data officers don't have that seat at the table because they don't truly understand business strategy. They are tactical thinkers. And when you talk to people about AI strategy, the first things you hear are AI strategy is cloud adoption, it's hiring the right talent, it's getting a data-driven and no, none of those are strategies. Those are all tactics. That understanding that I gave you at the very beginning of what strategy actually is, it's all up here. It's nothing execution. It is the understanding of the system, understanding those governing dynamics of the competitive marketplace that dictate execution, dictate tactics. And if you start with tactics and call them strategy, you're almost immediately called out at the highest levels of strategy planning. And you're excluded. So you as a data scientist have a unique opportunity to not only prolong your career, but realize as a data scientist, companies are asking you to play those two roles. And that's part of the skills gap. So as a data scientist, you can immediately prolong your career and make yourself much more valuable now if you have a better understanding of business strategy. Going downfield, obviously, if your CTO wants to be more strategic, you starting now and growing those skills over the next 5 to 10 years as you make your way up the ladder, you're going to have a longer career and you have a higher ceiling for growth because you are a strategist, not just a tactician. So that is what business strategy is. And that's why as a data scientist, it's worth caring. Even though you have a ton of other things on your plate, beginning now to learn and continuously improve your business acumen, understanding of business strategy, and overall comprehension of strategy as an umbrella capability is going to make you more valuable, mean that you're going to have a far more lucrative and successful career.